Many years ago, I made a deal with God. While I was lying on the hospital bed with my leg hung up and I was in pain, I said something to God. And that has been the foundation of everything that I am doing. You see me do today with God. You want to find out about the deal I made with God? Please continue watching the video. Hi, welcome to Moment with Oka, Mark, Richard. If you're new here, I welcome you especially. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment behind. And if this video in any way inspires you, do well to share with somebody you love. So, I made a deal with God, and you might be wondering, okay, tell me, okay, Michael, what deal did you make with God? I grew up in the family, a Christian family. My mother loved the Lord, my father loved the Lord, but my mom was the one that would always, my mom told me that I started praying when I was about 5 years old. Yes, and I remember that there were times I used to pray. I used to pray all night. But the funny thing is that I was shocked at myself when I think back on some of the things I used to pray about, and I'm like, my God, who gave me these words to pray? But I remember praying all night, and I remember that I prayed to an extent that the neighbor we had at the time came to warn my mom to warn me. It's funny. But you know one thing, all the while I was praying, I didn't even know about Jesus. I love the idea of praying, but I didn't know about Jesus. I did not. I had issues growing up as a child. I had issues. I'm going to be sharing it in subsequent videos. I promise you everything I'm going to be saying, these are real experiences. There is no present without the past. So what you see me do today, it's coming from somewhere. I have a past. We all have a past. So I'm sharing with you my own past, and I believe you learn something from it. Right. So, to cut the long story short, sometime in 2004, I was coming back from my mother's office. It's somewhere I used to go on a regular basis. So I was coming back from the office, and then I I had bid farewell to my mom. So I was just standing on the side of the main road that I usually stand, and I was standing alongside all the people. So we were waiting for the vehicles to come down so we could cross. And while the vehicles were coming down, others were setting out to cross, and I myself, I was equally setting out to cross. And all of a sudden, the only thing I remembered is hearing people screaming and shouting, and I was hearing, hold him, he has hit somebody down. And then I felt a hand mightier, like a hand bigger than I am, carrying me up. And in my unconscious state, I felt myself losing so much blood, and I felt myself so dizzy and all of that. And from everything, they knew my mom because we lived around the area. So they went to call my mom, and in my mom's heart, she'd be like, my daughter just left the office now. So what happened? What happened? So they took me to the hospital where I was given birth to, and then the hospital. And that's one of the reasons I don't really like hospitals. They were like, you get a card, do this, and I was losing so much blood, and these people were asking for card, for goodness sakes. Who does that? Someone's life was at stake. But fast forward to the real story. They finally got me admitted to teaching hospital in Aba, Abia State, and then I was just there. They were able to hold the bones together and put on this mask on my leg, and then my leg was hung up. My right leg was hung up. Was hung up. So, and then I was able to open my eyes, and I saw my mom, I saw my dad, I saw my uncle who just came back from the States, blessed memory now, and they were all there looking at me, and I was just like, I was wondering, who are all of these people? And so for 6 months, I stayed in the hospital, and for 1 year, I wasn't able to walk and all of that. But now this is what happened. So they said they were going to operate on me to fix the bones because the bones of my right leg was broken. They said they were going to fix it, and all the while, many suggestions were coming to my mother. Take her to a traditionalist, he would do this. Take her to a bone doctor, he would do that and all that. And I thank God that my parents did not listen to these people. So then I was on the bed for many months, and I thank God for my dad, who will always come back at night to, sleep in the makeshift bed there to take care of me. And my mom had just given birth to my baby brother at the time, so she couldn't she couldn't come stay with me, but every morning she was there. And also, so one day I was lying on the bed and I was crying. I was telling God, so does that mean I will never walk again? Does that mean I will never walk again? And then I just saw myself saying something to God. I said to God, Lord, if you will give me back my leg, if you will make me walk again, I'm going to walk 1,000 miles with you. I didn't quite understand what I was saying, but I thought I was, trying to bribe God. You know what we do now when we want God to do something for us, and then we say something. I just said, Lord, if you make me walk again, I'm going to walk 1,000 miles with you. And in my heart, he heard it. Because there was this trust and faith in God. So the day they booked me for the first surgery, I went in there. I was confident that today they were going to do magic, and then I'll come back and I start working. But the first surgery happened, it didn't work. Said it didn't work. I went back to cry and I said, Lord, they said it didn't work, and all of that. So, but I thought, Lord, I've told you something. If you make me walk, this is what I'm going to do for you. So they fixed the schedule for another surgery, and I went in for another surgery, and that one, there were chances that one was going to heal. So I stayed in the hospital for 6 months, and then when I was coming out of the hospital after 6 months, I was given this. I was wearing a long POP from here to my upper thigh, and then I was given crutches to walk. And then I kept telling God, Lord, remember, I said, if you make me walk again, I'm going to walk 1,000 miles with you. I didn't understand what I was saying to God. But 1 year later, I went back to the hospital, and then they removed the long POP, and then I started wearing a smaller cast. And then I don't even know how it happened. I got healed. My leg got healed. The bones came back. It came back, and I was, oh my God, it was a miracle. Do you know, after everything, I forgot about what I told God. But in 2015, the Lord reminded me, you made a promise to me. If I let you walk again, you will walk 1,000 miles with me. And that's when my head all reset, and I told myself, yes, I made a promise to God. And that was where the whole journey started. That was where the journey started for me. The journey with walking with the Lord started for me. And even while the journey started, there were still other things that I needed God to do in my life, because I was really a whole lot of baggage at the time. But I'm going to share that in my subsequent videos. But what am I trying to say here? When you make a promise to God, do not renege. The Bible said, pay the vows you made to God. So when you make a vow to God, do not renege on your vow, because we wouldn't love that God will say something and he goes back on his word. So in as much as we want God to be faithful, we also need to be faithful in keeping the promise we made to God. So I made a deal with God. Lord, if you give me back my leg, I will walk 1,000 miles with you. And this is what I am doing. So thank you so much for watching. I want to believe that this video has ministered to you. This is Moments with Okamaka Richard, and I'll see you on the next video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to share. Bye for now. God bless you.